Do you have challenges with your manifestations? Do you find yourself regularly saying, why is life always so hard for me? I work so much and so hard, and I can never catch up. Why am I always living paycheck to paycheck? How come every time I get extra money, there is an emergency, something breaks, and it's almost exactly the same amount of the money that I have saved? How come my manifestations are just not working? I'm following all the rules. Or, you know what? I'm living in compromise. I settled, it's something close, but it's not exactly what I wanted. If you find yourself regularly saying any of these and you can't seem to get ahead in life, no matter how much effort you put in, hard work is not the answer. You probably have a subconscious shadow of, I don't get my needs met. I don't get my needs met, or why can't I ever get ahead, is such a common and overlooked shadow because every single person here was a baby, a young child that had a difficulty communicating with its parents, no matter how loving and caring and nurturing our parents were. If we can't let it be known what we need, there are going to be times that we invoke a little bit of trauma that probably will add up over time as a child. For instance, if we want to be fed and our parents think we need to be changed, if we want a hug and reassurance and not be left alone, but our parents think we're crying for food, it creates an initial energetic mismatch and a slight trauma that will build up over time. Now, our shadows are found in the 95% of our operating systems that come from our subconscious. That's right, only 5% of what we do and say and act on in the world comes from our active conscious mind. Everything else is from the subconscious. So it's at these very young ages that all of our belief systems, our actions, our habits are all set up. That's why it's called the shadow. It's hidden in that 95% of our subconscious, yet it's running our life from the moment it happens onwards. So in today's session, we're going to dive specifically into that shadow, and we're going to do a whole lot of emotional release and energy work to clear that shadow. Many shadow work facilitators will speak of integration of the shadow, which means looking at your shadow, acknowledging it, and changing the habits that come along with it. That's great. And it's more hard work because you are consciously changing habits. When you remove an energetic imprint, especially one that comes along with a lot of emotionality, it's cleaner. You might have to work on it a couple of times if it's a really deep shadow for you, but that's okay. It eventually will clear and get better. And we fill that empty space of energy, because everything in this world is energy, frequency, and vibration. So we're going to clear out that aberrant, stuck energy and fill it with light and more flow and new, fresh ways to be in the world. So in today's session, be ready to go to a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. We're going to cry, yell, scream, maybe hit a pillow, whatever it takes to remove that energy from our body. And we will go through the session together. So all you have to do is follow along. The thing about doing shadow work is the best time to do it is when you are already activated. If you are angry or frustrated or feeling those emotions, and you can hang on to that for just a moment and understand that that is the best time to do the work to release the shadow. That is the state we are going to come into today to start our session. So, get some water, go into a nice quiet place, grab a pillow, grab anything, some tissues perhaps, and get ready to let it all out. If you're already feeling frustrated or emotional, all the better. That's the shadow that you're going to dive in for. We will also have a video just to do a generic shadow work session, which will also be in the notes as soon as that video is up. And you can use that session for any shadow you are working through. You just have to identify what it is. You don't need the story behind it. You just can see what it is that is triggering you in your life in that very moment. And it will be a generic shadow work session to go let it out. And I promise you on the other side, we feel so much lighter and so much cleaner and brighter, and our lives change. So, a quick disclaimer. Today's shadow work session is not a psychological assessment or diagnosis, nor is it a treatment for any psychological or mental disorders. We will work with our beliefs and stuck energies as energy work, working with our human energy body and biofield. This is not a medical treatment and does not take the place of a licensed professional counselor. Are you ready to go? If not, just put the video on pause, grab your pillow, grab your tissues, maybe a glass of water, and go sit in a quiet place. To begin our session, we're going to call on a circle of protection around our own now sacred space, calling any guides and our higher selves to assist us that we may wish to join us. It is a space free from judgment, free from outside influence, free from any negative energies or influences. It is a safe space to express ourselves and for healing on all levels across space, time, dimensions, and realities. So close your eyes. We're going to do 3 deep breaths, deep into the belly. And we're going to start to think of the last time, the most recent time, or the biggest time where we are feeling the frustration and the anger of, I am not getting my needs met. I do not ever have what I want. I do not have enough money. My manifestations aren't working. Why not? I am so frustrated. Whatever that story is for you, bring it into your mind and sit with it. Let it fester. Let it become your reality. Let the emotionality associated with that, the anger, the frustration, the victimhood, as it all wells up, let it come in first with your mind, through every cell in your body, because it is there. It is in the energy field of every cell in your body, and let it settle in your gut. Why is life so hard? Why can't I get my needs met? Why am I so frustrated all of the time? Why is everyone always taking advantage of me? Whatever it is for you, bring it up. Let it build. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? Let that energy go take you back in time till you were just a youngster. And your parents are telling you you cannot have something, or you have to work really, really hard for something, or we don't have the money for that. How do you feel? It's not fair. Why not? My friends have that. Why can't I have that too? I'm hungry. I want that thing. Why can't I? Everyone else can. Why can't I? You don't have to see the story as much as you feel the energy. It doesn't matter if you can't see the story. Just feel that energy, because it is there. If this is your shadow, it is there in your body and in your field. Just feel that energy and let it out. It's time to scream, to yell, to cry. Let that energy out. Why can't I get what I want? Process it. Let it out. Scream. Yell from your gut. Deeper. Deeper. Feel it from your gut. Feel it from every cell in your body and release it. Let it out. And as the energy releases, you start to set in a little calmness. As the energy releases, it feels a little more peaceful in the body. And let that peace wash over you. We're going to turn to our child, our baby, our infant, our young toddler, our childhood self, and understand that our hurt wasn't intentional. Our parents weren't trying to harm us. We're going to find peace and forgiveness for ourselves and for all those who unintentionally caused us distress and harm. We're going to forgive. We're going to release. We're going to let go of the scenario that happened. Understanding that it was just situational and everybody involved was doing the absolute best they could at that moment in time. If it feels natural, it's okay to give yourself a hug. Nurture the child. Let the child know that it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay. Things happen sometimes, and it's not that anyone doesn't love you. It just happened. It's time to let go, let it heal, and move forward. So with love, forgiveness, peace, and resolution, we're going to let the rest of the energy fade as it naturally will as we go on about our days. For some of us, this happened over and over again. Little pieces of us could have disassociated every time it happens so we don't feel the pain of it. So without feeling any pain, without feeling anything other than peace, we're going to ask those little fragments only of our original soul imprint. Nothing else, no foreign energies, no foreign entities, just our original soul energies that belong to us, our original soul imprint coming into this lifetime to start to reconnect. We don't need to be fragmented. We don't need to be disassociated. We don't need to find ways to cope with the pain of always being the one who never has enough. Always being the one who never gets their needs met, who barely gets their needs met, who never has any extra. All of that's going to disappear. So any piece of our original soul fragment energies that took on other mechanisms to feel better, we don't need that anymore. We thank you so much for taking care of us. It's time to reunite. We appreciate all that you did to try and make us feel better, to try and help us, to try and save us. But we're ready to be whole. And as those little pieces of energy of our original soul essence, and only that light comes back to us, we're going to start to raise the frequency in the room. We're going to bring in all the healing energy of our soul, which is a fragment of source consciousness. Source is full of abundance, full of light, full of creation. And as the frequency raises in the room, our energy field vibrates with it and raises. And we're filling all those empty places that were just vacated with emotions and energies that were stuck in I can't get my needs met, to I am fully abundant. I am calling my sovereign nature of source, abundance, energetically to me now. I am in alignment and entanglement with all my positive manifestations. I am in alignment to full source abundance now. Feel the magnetics, charge your body, feel the vibration and frequency raise, clearing out any residual energies that are still exiting, and they might keep, so we're going to lock that in. Any unwanted energies can still release over time as it naturally happens. The negative energies having to do with this trigger and shadow. And we're going to replace them with higher vibrational entanglement with our higher selves, enmeshed in full source consciousness. So we can stay here in this meditation for as long as we wish, understanding that the healing will go on once we leave this posture until its natural completion, and we are whole sovereign beings filled with light and the abundance of our source. Thank yourself for this journey of healing. Remember, you are your higher self, and every bit of release work that we do brings us closer to our entire source, fully conscious soul, so that source consciousness can flow through us more and more and more, and our lives are filled with more miracles and amazing synchronicities and the grace of the flow of these source field energies. Thank you so much for joining this shadow work session. We will have other videos for other specific shadow triggers forthcoming. But in the meantime, remember you can do this process with anything that emotionally or mentally or physically triggers you as you go about your days. If you know someone else who might benefit